Well, if your lockdown is anything like mine, it will be full of days of joys and sorrows, happy family times and bust-ups, acts of selflessness and service, and total despair at sin in ourselves and those around us. It's a roller coaster. It's ups and downs. And Numbers is like that, isn't it? As we've been seeing as we've been going through. We didn't look at chapter 26 yesterday. It's worth seeing what is going on with these numbers. The title of the book is Numbers. Here are a load of numbers. What do we make of them? People have gone through and compared them with the numbers that you get right at the beginning of the book. And actually the numbers are roughly the same. You know, you can try and read a little bit into numbers going up and down. Actually, that probably isn't that significant, because the point is the whole of the first generation has died, and that's made clear at the end of the chapter. Not one of them, verse 64, was among those counted by Moses and Aaron the priest when they counted the Israelites in the desert of Sinai. That's the beginning of the book. But despite the fact that the first generation has died due to their sin and unbelief and refusal to trust God about entering the land, so the judgment came and said, you guys, including Moses, will not enter the land. Despite all that, the numbers in the people of Israel, if you add up all the numbers together, we're still in around the same place as we were before. God is preserving his people faithfully, according to his promises, even in the face of sin. He's serious about sin. We're clear on that in Numbers, but we're also clear that he's serious about keeping his promises. And then chapters 27 and 28 begin to lay out how he is providing faithfully for his people. Now, there's this episode with Zelophehad's daughters, and actually we'll look at that later when we come to chapter 36, because that is links with that, and it is significant, but we'll come back to that. But Joshua is now named as the new leader of God's people, and God is providing a leader for his people, his sinful people. He is caring for them, saying, look, here is a godly leader to lead you, and he is then providing for them in terms of giving them festivals for the land that they're going to come into, and that's what you see in chapter 28. These are festivals not for now in the desert, but for then, for when you are settled. And so when we are despairing now at ourselves and our circumstances, actually, spiritually speaking, that's not necessarily a bad place to be in our relationship with God. We are sinners. We do mess up. Our circumstances are frustrating. We're not in the promised land yet. So in our despair and in those low times and in all of the times, let's keep looking to God, because he is faithful. He keeps his promises. He does that even in the face of his people's sin. He has dealt with our sin through Jesus' death on the cross. He is dealing with it now through his Holy Spirit, working in us, his people, day by day, helping us to say no to temptation, to say yes to him. He will get his people to the promised land of the new heavens and the new earth. So let's keep trusting him.